Your goal for today is to learn how to graph linear inequalities. So we know how to write equations for, linear equations, which was y equal mx plus b form. Inequality means it doesn't have an equal anymore. It should either have a less than symbol, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equals to. So that's what the inequality is. Since it's a range of numbers, like if I'm saying x is less than 10, that means x could be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. It could even go in the negative numbers as well, because those, as long as it is correct, it would be the part of your answer. So we have a lot of numbers that could be possible answers. So what we do for that reason is we are going to shade. So we shade the area that could be the part of the answer. So how do we do that? Let's learn. Each linear inequality has a corresponding linear equation. It is going to have an equation in the form of y mx plus b, only this symbol will be different. For example, the inequality y greater than 1/4 x minus 1 has a corresponding equation of y equals 1/4 x minus 1. So you refer to this equation and then you do something to that line according to that symbol over there. So the process stays the same. If I had equation as y equal mx plus b form, you have two ways you can graph. First one, you start at the y-intercept and you use rise over run. That's if you're drawing the line by hand. Second, you can use that equation y equal mx plus b, and then you can use the calculator. You will not be able to enter that inequality in the calculator. Equal, greater, no, that's not possible. It's going to be an error. You can't draw that line. So you will be using that equal if you are using the calculator. Let's review the symbols. What do they mean? Above means above, so the shading is going to go above. And solid means I'm going to have a solid line. So the symbol greater than and equal to. So greater or equal, this symbol means, this is greater means above. And that equal represents the solid line. So line goes with the line. Solid line goes with the solid because it has equal in it. What goes in this box? I have above, that means I have greater than symbol. And it says dash line, that means I don't have equal, so just greater than. That's the symbol. So if you don't have an equal in it, that means it's dashed. Same goes for the second. I have below symbol, that means it's less than. So less, that's with the L. Just remember, if you can write less, that means it is below or less. And then the line is solid, it has an equal in it. So it has an extra line because it's a solid line. Dash means it doesn't have an equal below it, just less than symbol. So just less, and there's no equal sign in it because the line is supposed to be dash. So this is one thing that we actually use in order to draw the line, whether I'm going to draw a solid line or I'm going to draw a dash line. So the final answer, or what our goal is, to learn how to graph the line, the inequality, and then I have to shade the area depending on what over here is. So this one says y is greater. It is y is greater than. So greater than is from the symbol. It doesn't have equal, so it doesn't have an equal sign in it, so it doesn't have an equal part in it. So what it means is that greater means the shading is above. Shading is above that line, and the line, so and the line is dashed. So what I'm saying is that this is the note that you get from this inequality, that shading is above the dashed line. So the shading is above the dashed line. So you have the line over here and the shading is above. So that's how you graph a line which is with inequality. So let's try this out. I have equation, it says y less than. So I use the word less than, it means it's below. And then it doesn't have an equal in it, so it's going to be a dashed line. So these are the two things that I have to pay attention to. The line is going to be dashed, and then the shading is going to be below or under that line. Now I'm gonna draw the line by hand. You can use the calculator as well, it doesn't matter. So y-intercept -5, and I'm just gonna do the rise over run and rough draw the line. You can use the calculator to draw this line as well if you have a difficulty drawing the line. So I have the line, I put the points, now I have to draw the line. Now remember, it is a dashed line because it doesn't have an equal in it. So I just have to draw the dashed line, not solid. So dashed line means leave some spaces. It needs to be a broken line with spaces in it. So there you go. My line is dashed. And below means under it. So just look at that line. This would be the part under it. So I'm shading that area because that is required in order to define that line, that it needs to be under it. There you go. All right, you should be able to draw this line. It's greater than symbol, so above and solid line. So use the calculator or draw the line by hand, and I will check it. Example number 3. So example number 3, if you read, it says 4x minus 5y greater than equals to -5. Now, if you are paying attention over here, this is not an equation which is written as y equal mx plus b form. It is not. Excuse me. This equation is written as ax plus by equals c format. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to convert it to the y equal mx plus b form that you already know how to do it. So I'm going to rewrite that equation. I call it rewriting because you are rewriting it in a different form. So step number 1, you don't have to draw the middle line over here. I'm not going to draw because I have that symbol. So step number 1 is move that x on the other side by opposite operation. So that's -4x on both sides. Draw the line. 4x cancels 4x. Bring down that -5. So pay attention on that -5y. Put that symbol because that symbol is extremely important. Minus 4x minus 5. I still don't have the answer, so I have to divide by -5. And I divided by -5, so I have to flip that inequality. So that's the note that you have to remember. Now I have to flip it. So I have to change the face. I have to make it into the other direction. So this is greater, it needs to be opposite now. So you have to flip it into the other one because that negative, division by negative, has to flip it. And then I'm gonna simplify. It is 4 or 5x positive and +1. And this is what my line is. Now I have my line. This is correct. Since I have to draw the inequality on the graph, so I have to pay attention on 2 things. Number 1, what type of line is that? And number 2, where's the shading? So I'm going to answer those 2 questions. This is a solid line because it has equal in it. And it is a less than, so the shading is below. The shading is going to be below and the line is going to be solid. So I will draw that line over here. And I'm going to circle the words that goes with them, solid and below. The line starts at +1 and it is 4 up and 5. So you can use the calculator or you can do it by yourself. Okay, I have the line. This line is solid. So I need a ruler or something in order to draw. Oh, something is wrong. It's not a straight line. Okay, I'm fixing the line. Here, okay, now it's fine. Okay, now solid line because I needed a solid line and the shading is going to be below that. So shading below, use pencil for shading, please. This whole area is part of your answer. That is included or part of your answer. Okay, it doesn't have to look perfect. You get the idea. It's this region. Next problem is the same thing. My equation is negative 2y less than x plus 4. It is not written into y equal mx plus b form because of that negative 2. This is times x is already there. The number is already there. So all I have to do is jump to step number 2, which is divide by negative 2. Since I divided by negative 2, I have to flip the inequality. So I'm going to write y. I had to flip it. So change, this is greater. So this is less, you gotta change it, flip it to greater. This is negative 1x over 2. And the y-intercept is negative 2. So I have my line. There was no number, so it is 1. I have my line. Now I need two things. Number one, what type of line it is and what type of shading is it. So this line is dashed because it doesn't have an equal, and secondly it is greater, so the shading is above. So it is dashed and the shading is above. Now you can draw the line by hand or by calculator, whatever you like or whatever you prefer. I have a point. Now I'm gonna draw a dash line, so I don't need ruler, just leave some spaces. There you go. Shading, it says greater above. So this area, if I make the arrow, this is above because this is going upward. This was below, going down or facing down. And there you go. I have the shading. This is done. You should be able to do number 5 example at this time by yourself. Make sure to circle whatever the correct names, words go with that. So go ahead, finish this, and then get these 2 questions checked by me. We do have this side to finish. All right. So the next thing is we have to determine if the order pair is in the solution set. Now, what is a solution set? Solution set is, so you draw the line and then you shade the area. Solution set means that whatever the numbers are, whatever the numbers, x and y order pairs that are in the shaded section will be part of your answer because they all are correct. So solution set is the shaded area where the answer is. So solution set is that possible correct answers. Since we are talking about the graph, so the answers are going to be x comma y form. Solution set. Now where the solution set is and where the solution set can be found. So let's fill in the table. Solution set is found in the region which is shaded. Region means area or section. I usually call it shaded section. It's easier to say shaded section than shaded region. So solution is in the shaded area. Not solution, that means it is in non-shaded area. So just white part, that's where you're not gonna find the solution. That's not correct. Solution is on solid line only. Solid line means there's equal. That means the number belongs there and the number is correct. Not solution is on the dashed line. Dashed line doesn't involve equal. That's the reason dashed line doesn't have, or the solution cannot be on the dashed line. Algebraic notation for shaded region, it could be greater, equal, or less equal. And non would be less or greater, greater, less. That's how the symbol goes. It doesn't have an equal in it. This you probably are familiar with. We have used this a lot because the equation is written in the standard form, ax plus by equals c. This is the best method. If I don't know how to draw the line and then shade my area and then I can't do anything, then this is the method that I'm going to use. And it's pretty straightforward as well. As you know, the first value is x and the second value belongs to y in x comma y order pair, coordinate pair. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that x and the y with the values. So x is -3 and y is +4, and I'm going to check. So -3 plus 4 is actually 1. So is 1 greater than 2? False. 1 is not greater than 2. 1 is less than 2, not greater. So is it part of your solution? No. So this is one of the methods. You can plug in and you can check every time whether it is your solution or not. So I'm going to check the first 2 examples and let you finish the next 3. X is, or I'm going to skip second, you can do that. I'm going to do the third. X is 0 plus y is 2. So 0 plus 2 is 2. Is 2 greater than 2? No, that is again false. So is that your solution? No. 2 is not greater than 2. 2 is equals to 2. So you should be able to do these 3 by yourself. Plug in the numbers, use the calculator, and see whether it works or not. Now this is one way you can check whether it is solution or no. The second method that you can use is you can draw the line. Okay, I have my line, and then you can shade the area. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to find those order pairs, whether they are part of your answer or not. So -3, 4. -3, x is -3 in comma 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's here. This is -3, 4. So is -3, 4 part of your answer? No, because this is not in the shaded section, so it's not your answer. So any point which is not in the shaded section is not your solution. So 0, 2, 0, 2 is on dash line. So dash line means it's not part of your solution because this is just imaginary. That number is not part of your solution. It is just imaginary line. It's just like a blocker. It's not a solid line. It's not a true line. So this is false. This is not a solution. Same way you can check other numbers which are part of your answers or not. 4, -1. 4, -1 is here. Yes, this one should be true. And it should be, yes, the solution. But to fill this table, you have to plug in the numbers and then check. So go ahead and do that. All right. Now we know 2 ways which I can use to actually, 2 ways that I can use to check whether it's part of my solution or not. So I'm going to use method 1 for this one, one method for this one, and then I'm going to use another method for this one. Why? I'm going to tell you the reason. I looked at my equation and this is written in standard form. This is ax plus by equals c. It's written in standard form, so the best method for this one is plug in and check. So I'm going to plug in numbers and I'm going to check. For the second one, I'm going to draw the line, shade the area, and then I'm going to do, I'm going to put the points and then I'm going to check. So it depends on what type of equation I have. It's faster to do that one method or the other. So let's do the first one. I'm going to do 2 questions and then I'm going to let you finish 2. So the first one, the x value is 5 and y is 0. All I'm going to do is plug in the numbers. So 3x, I'm going to put the parentheses, minus 5, put the parentheses, and I'm going to check whether it is greater than 15 or not. So x is 5, y is 0. Solve. 3 times 5 is 15. You can use the calculator and enter this much in the calculator. Minus 5 times 0 is 0. So 15 minus 0. 15 is greater than 15. It says 15 greater than 15. The answer is no. So this is not your solution. Pretty clear. This is not your solution because the answer was no. You're going to do the same for the others. I have the value x equals 2 and y equals negative 2. So I'm going to use my plug-in method, type in the numbers, put parentheses, always put parentheses so you can check and don't mess up on the minus. X is 2 and y is minus 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Minus 5 multiplied by minus 2 is positive 10. 6 plus 10 is 16. 16 greater than 15? Yes. 15 is greater than 16 is greater than 15. So this is correct. That means this is your answer. Well, this is part of your solution. First one was not, second one is. You should be able to check the other 2 on your own. Use parentheses for the plugin so you don't mess up on that minus. So if I have standard form, plug in and check is the best method. The second one is I have equation written in slope-intercept form. So it's easier for me to actually draw the line and then color the area. The line is already drawn, so I don't have to worry about that. I just have to make sure whether it is correct or not. So this symbol is greater than, equal to. Greater than equals to mean the shading is going to be above. That's my first note. And the second is I need to have the solid line. Above shading and solid line. So let me check the line. Line is solid. That is true. It is correct. I have to shade above. Above is that above region. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to shade that area. And that's it. Now I'm going to check all these points. X is 4, y is 6. So 4 comma 6, 4 comma 6 is over here. This is 4 comma 6. This is not in your shaded area, so no. It's not in shaded area. Shaded region, section, so no. That's the reason. I'm gonna check the second point, negative 2 comma 0. X is negative 2. This is x comma y. So let's check x comma y. X is negative 2 and then y is 0. So it should be over here. So this is negative 2 comma 0. Well, this is on solid line. So this is part of your answer because solid line is true line. It is not a fake line. It is not imaginary. So yes, this is a line. That means this is the solution. This is the solution. Yes, because point is on solid line. So this is easy. You can just shade the area and you can know from there. But if even this question can also be done with the plug and check method, because you have the x, you have the y. All you have to do is know whether it is true or false. So let's see if I can do something. X is -3. X is -6 and y is 3. Let's plug in. Y is, I'm going to plug in y. Y is 3. Greater than equals to, this is a fraction, so you might have to actually check the calculator. So y is 3 and x is -6. So you replace the number, and now you actually can use the calculator to figure out what is on the other side. This is 3 greater than, so if I'm multiplying this, what should I have? -18 over 2, that's -9. -9 plus 3 is -6. So I solved this part, it is -6. Now I have to read that inequality and just check whether it is true or false. So 3 is greater than equals to -6. What do you think? Yes. So this is your solution because the inequality is true. So even this can be done using the plug-in and check method. The only difference is you just have to plug in carefully and you might end up seeing some sort of fractions. But you can use a calculator if you can't deal with fractions by yourself. But you should be able to. It's not a big problem. X is 8. Y is 12. Go ahead and plug in the numbers using the parentheses. And solve in the calculator and see if you're able to tell whether it is part of your answer or not. Okay? Go ahead with that. Once you're done with this, you have to finish the back side. You have to use the plug-in and check method, and then have me check all of these questions. The equation is written on the top. Use the plug-in and check method on for both of these. And let me check these questions. So I'm gonna call this process plug in and check, and you have to remember this. If you need my help on the question, I might just tell you plug in and check, and you would know that I'm talking about x and y value. So you plug in x and x and y, and then you just check the math whether it is true or not. Plug in and check. So go ahead, finish all these questions by yourself now.